go ahead and open up the questions.
What was the game plan coming in today's game?
Well, we came in, I felt like all three phases, we had to really perform well. I think the major part of our quest out here was to not have turnovers, but to get turnovers and to take advantage of them. We took advantage of one because it was a pick six. The other we scored, and then we didn't take advantage of one of them. But for the most part, we held on to the ball very well. I thought we were stingy with the ball down the field when we were throwing it. And, I'm sick about several drives, and I think that for us, it made some of the difference in the game.
Coach, this week you switched from Brandon Silvers to B.J. Daniels at quarterback. What did you see him do better this week?
Yeah. Last week, we really sputtered a bit early in the game, and I made a change at halftime, and then B.J. had this other dimension, with his feet. And so I gave him the nod probably midweek last week with all the players present so that we knew exactly what we were trying to prepare for. And he came out and he showed leadership. He showed that he could execute the offense. And, I really felt comfortable with how we were playing, especially in the first half and even at times in the second half. But that's kind of how it happened. And I thought he proved that, he's capable of continuing on.
Coach, it seemed like the running game was keeping you guys on schedule in the first half. It seemed like in the second half it really kind of went away here. What happened in that second half for you guys? Yeah,
I felt like, we made, you talk about as we're zone reading or whatever, we kept the ball one time when we could have given it. But those don't win and lose games. It's really the sustaining those blocks, keeping I think what we're going to see is Houston's defense, especially in that front line, did a really nice job of getting off blocks later on in the game, and we needed to sustain if we wanted to continue to run the ball. And so a couple 3-and-outs. I felt like we still had the right plays on at those times, but I probably needed to open it up a little bit more and create that mix. I'm always, coaches, we always second guess ourselves. I want to be on the winning side of this. I would still be second guessing myself, if we're on the other side of it. So yeah, I just feel like we probably missed some blocks at the point of attack that didn't allow the backs to have those same lanes as we did in the first half. Yes.
Now, in the second half, like you said, you went away from the running game. What adjustments did they make defensively that made you believe that you needed to go in that way?
Yeah, well, the score part of it, and I actually did try to stay with the run game in that third quarter, and we had several 3-and-outs. And it wasn't the 3 3rd-and-5s. It was we had a 3rd-and-11, we had a 3rd-and-10, and that just means that it's really the lack of production on first and second down that causes a team to, run, stop, and then all of a sudden you're in this really long situation. So now the pass pro has to be great where you can really stand and deliver. And, BJ scrambled several times and was hit. I felt like we could have gone down the field on his scrambles, but we'll see. I mean, we have a lot of questions to answer in that third quarter. It's really the third quarter that, offensively, that hurt us. And I'll tell you, the other way it hurt us is it kept our defense on the field too long. And they had a couple of really long drives and possession of the ball. I don't know what the possession was, but they had it for a long time in that third quarter.
You forced Walker into 3 turnovers. Do you feel like that should have been enough to win the game there to at least get you guys in a good situation?
It kept us, it just was so, yeah, it was really up, it was kind of a momentum changer for us, and we felt like, yes, let's go. And I think everybody was really fired up about those things. And then to go 3 and out after that, it just, it's not like everybody's mouth drops or we, run off the field with shrugged shoulders. But, certainly that should be a lift, and didn't lift us, and it's absolutely needed to in that against a good football team. And this is a 5-0 team now, a 4-0 team. So we needed to produce in that third quarter, and we didn't.
You talk about what you like with B.J. Daniels and his athleticism. Can we expect to see more design quarterback runs in this offense, you think?
Well, I don't know about designed. It's more about just reading taking what you can see and what you get. The only reason I would say probably, but it won't be more. It'll just be, it'll be reading it correctly, whether he's going to give it or whether he's going to keep it or whether he's going to keep it and throw it. There's several things that you can do. The dimension is what's kind of is helping us. The dimension of being able to do those 3 things has really helped us.
So now, Coach, you're 1-4, but you're still very much in contention. How are you going to get your team? What do you say to your team to get them to understand that you still have a shot, not only to make the playoffs, but to make the championship and make a run in the second half of the season?
Well, it's really a good question. I'd love to have, I'm sure there's a book written on great sayings after a loss, and I'd love to have that. I just go, hey, number 14, number 14, and everybody gets inspired. But you really have to understand the chemistry of your team. I think we have some mature guys. Nobody on our football team likes the situation we're in, and it's a good thing. If everybody was just complacent and hey, no big deal, let's go back to Seattle and do our thing. Nobody wants to play the season out like that. So we keep fighting, and we keep. What I've appreciated about our team is they just keep getting back in line and fight again during that following week. And every game we've been in, it's been pretty optimistic. We feel like we can really do these things and go. And those are the things that I think have to be not so much told to these guys, because what do you after a loss, and we've had now 4 of them, it's hard to come up with that perfect statement that makes them go, yes, that's it, I got it. It's almost that has to be done in smaller segments maybe, and as we get back to Seattle, once we see the video and we grade it and our guys understand it, then we can get back to work. And I think getting back to work will be the main issue for us all, because nobody cares, right? Nobody cares that we lost. We do, right? And people in Seattle, they want a winner as well, but nobody really cares that we lost. And so we can pout and do all that. But I think our team has a bunch of guys that want to get back at it and find out those answers, and we're moving forward in that. We had a pretty good lead in this game, and we have to be able to finish and sustain that lead, and even add to it if we need to. So, I take a breath and breathe out and try to stay mature and calm, right? And it's difficult. It's difficult.
Anything else, guys?
How come you're not asking me any questions?
No.
Gosh, you probably have a good question. That's all right.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
I'll ask you one if you want.
Yeah.
Is BJ
No, I want you to ask. I want you to want to ask. Is BJ what?
Is BJ Daniels going to be the continued starter moving forward?
Yes, that's a good question. Yes, I'm going to have him continue on. I think he's earning that. He's, he got better this week, even though, like last week he came in, he had almost 0 reps. So he took the majority of the reps this week, although I did give Brandon Silvers a lot of time as well, because, how do you know when you're starting a new guy? But he showed that that he's running with this, and I'm going to continue to do that. Good question. All right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.